5 o'clock on a Wednesday, which means it's time for...
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Did you forget for a minute there? Welcome back to the review show. We have 5 tricks that we're looking at this week. We're only going to be performing 4 of them. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but we are actually reviewing 5 tricks, which we've never done before. And there's going to be some really great tricks that we're looking at. Now, the first thing that we're going to be looking at today is by the 1914. We love the 1914. D. Christopher and his team over there always do a good job, and the production value is always really high. So we were very, very excited when we saw a new 1914 product come in for review, and that's what we're going to be looking at first of all, isn't it? Yeah. So let's get straight on with the first review. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is a download. It's not a physical download. It's a 1 hour, 48-minute download, and it's all about the gill breath principle. It's called Deep Breath by Matt Parrott. Now, Matt's actually brought out a book on the gill breath principle, and I have to be honest with you, up until watching this download, the gill breath principle is one of the things in magic that I've never really understood. I've done a couple of routines and I know they're based on the gill breath principle, but I never really understood how it worked. And you didn't really understand how it works either. But then we watched the download with Matt on it, and the first like 10 or 15 minutes is Matt.
Self-working.
Which it is self-working, but yeah, the first 10 or 15 minutes is Matt explaining how the gill breath principle works. And I thought it was a genius way to put it across. He actually uses poker chips. And for the first time ever, and I'm super excited about this, for the first time ever, 20 odd years, 30 odd years in magic, I finally understand what the gill breath principle is all about. It actually makes sense to me. So just for that alone, thank you, Matt. But what this is a collection of routines based around the gill breath principle. And there's some really awesome, cool routines in here. It's not just, it's kind of the same thing that you see over and over again. Matt really takes the gill breath principle and goes in a completely different direction with it. Some of the routines he explains on the download are routines that he's actually included in his book, but even those routines have been reworked and they've been changed and the handlings have been updated. One of my favourite routines on the whole project is a version of Out of This World, which you're going to perform in a minute, aren't you? But it's very different to a normal Out of This World. Rather than the spectator going through all of the cards and kind of working out which ones are red or black, it's absolutely mind-boggling. The spectator shuffles the cards. Well, you know what? Can you perform it? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to get Ryland to perform this trick because we both watched it and you learnt it and you showed it your mum and she was just completely blown away by it. So I'm going to get you to perform this routine and then we'll kind of talk about this routine and the project as a whole.
Right. Do you know your 5 senses?
Yeah, I've got taste and touch and hearing and sight and smell.
Yes. Okay, now, did you know when you, like, lose a sense, like sight, you increase one of your other senses?
Oh, right, okay.
Like, I've heard someone that became blind, so they lost their sight, and their touch told them what the colour was.
Hang on, whoa, hang on. They can touch something and tell you what the colour is.
Yeah, let's say I'm blind and I said, that's red.
That's rubbish. I don't believe you at all.
You don't believe me?
No, don't believe you at all.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's rubbish.
Okay then. Well, I've taught myself to do it.
You've taught yourself to do that even though you're not blind?
Yes.
Okay. I've got to see.
Okay, cut the cards.
Is it a regular deck?
Yeah. Look, I'll show you.
Okay.
Look, all there, all different.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And they're all red.
Okay,
Yeah?
cool. Yeah, okay.
Okay then. So, cut the cards.
Okay. Yep.
Okay then. So that's about half, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's half. Now shuffle them together.
Okay. Done.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to deal them into 2 piles and stop whenever you want.
Okay. I'm happy.
I'm happy now.
No, one more. Okay.
Okay. Are you sure you want one more?
That's fine.
Okay. Now choose one. Choose one.
Choose pile.
Yeah. Choose a pile.
That one.
That one. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna like touch it from underneath.
Okay.
And then you're gonna figure out what it is.
It's black.
Yeah.
I'm amazing. Black again. I'm so good at this. Red. Ah. Red. Ah. Black. Oh. Red. Black.
Yeah.
Red.
Boo.
No, that wasn't too bad. That was about 50%.
50%.
That was all right.
Well,
Yeah.
less than 50% because you got a lot of them wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna do it. You do it to me.
Really?
You're gonna do it to me. Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be able to do this because you taught yourself how to... Okay.
Ooh, that's hot. That's gonna be a red card.
Yes, it is.
Hot red card. Hot red card.
Are these marked? Look away.
Okay. Hot red card. Gold black card. That was cold. Look, do you know what?
What?
We'll make it even harder.
Okay.
I'm not even going to touch them. Okay.
Okay.
That's hot.
That's hot.
Yeah,
So you're saying that's red?
Yeah. Oh, and it's side. Okay. Hover it over my finger. Hot. That's red card. Cold.
Cold? So you're saying that's black?
Yeah, that's black.
Absolutely incredible.
This trick is amazing.
It really is. Like, even when you understand how it works, you almost don't understand how it works because the spectators shuffle the cards. Now, you do actually obviously have to get the spectators to do a riffle shuffle. But on the download, Matt talks about lots of different ways of doing this, like shuffling it yourself and having the spectators push them together or doing a Rosetta shuffle. There's a whole bunch of different options that he actually talks about. But they shuffle the cards. They do all the dealing. They decide the packets. They do absolutely everything. And you're able, and there's no marks. It's a regular deck of cards. You're able to tell people with absolute certainty in the packet that you're taking. You can tell them immediately whether it's red or black or red or black. And I love that moment. I love that hook line. And it's not yours. You obviously did it, but it's Matt's hook line of when one sense disappears, your other senses are
I was
heightened.
literally just about to say that.
Well, it's not your hook line or
No, as in like say that I really like the hook line of the beginning part where you about the sensors.
It's really good, isn't it? And that's just one routine on the download. The Gilbreth principle has a lot of potential, and having watched this this project, it's got a lot more potential than I thought. There's I've gone on record on this channel over and over again as saying I'm not a big fan of poker demonstrations or gambling demonstrations, and I'm not. But he's got a really nice gambling style routine where the spectators taking a packet of 20 cards and mixing them up and they shuffle them and they mix them, and there is absolutely no question that those cards are mixed, and yet even though the cards are mixed, they are able to deal 5 perfect sort of royal straights in a sort of 4 or 5 handed game of poker, which for people that do gambling demonstrations, again, it's completely self-working. It looks incredible. It really does.
I really like it.
You know what?
I really, 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 really like it.
Me too. It's kind of inspired me to try and create some stuff with the Gilbreth principle. Now I finally understand it. I think you and me need to sit down here with a deck of cards and come up with some routines with the Gilbreth principle. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I love this. I think this is brilliant. The production quality...
I'm going to give this 100%.
I'm giving it 100%. I just want to say the production quality is amazing, as you would expect from a 1914 release. And, everything's hosted on their internal server. So when you get it, you just log in and you can watch it as many times as you want to. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's 100%. It's absolutely incredible. If you've ever, like me, shied away from the Gilbreth principle because you didn't really understand how it worked or you didn't really understand the potential in it, trust me, watch this project. At the end of it, you'll understand exactly how the Gilbreth principle works. You will have some amazing tricks that you'll be able to perform with the Gilbreth principle that are pretty much self-working, and you'll be fired up and inspired to want to actually create your own stuff as well. So it's 100%. It's absolutely brilliant. You can get it directly now from 1914. So the next routine we're going to be looking at is Migrate by Michael Rubinstein. And Michael Rubinstein is you know, he's one of the greatest living coin magicians in the entire world. He has literally, and I mean literally, written the book on coin magic. So when he comes up with a new product that's to do with coin manipulation, you listen, don't you? I mean, that's the bottom line. And Migrate is Michael's newest effect, and he's gone on record as saying it's one of his favourite coin routines to perform. Now, this is a guy who knows hundreds of coin routines, so the fact that he said that, again, it makes you want to sit up and pay attention. There's two versions of this, and I've seen some confusion on the internet, so let me clear it up right now. There's two versions of this. There's the standard and there's the deluxe. Now, the standard is this. We've got the standard version. It comes with a little teddy bear purse, and it comes with poker chips that have bears on one side and they have bears on the other. Very, very nicely produced, and they all fit inside here, which kind of is a little bit different to a normal coin purse. You pull this out and it's going to grab people's interest one way or another. The deluxe version comes with like a leather bear purse, so it's still the same bear purse, but it's made out of leather, and the coins are actually sort of $half sized coins, and it's got like a bear on one side, and it's got normal coins, bear on one side, and a prospector on the other side. Now, first of all, this is a sleight of hand routine, so there's not like clever gimmicks in the coins or anything. The chips that you get are regular, but Michael teaches you how to do a really kick-ass coins across. And when I say kick-ass, I mean it. Michael has got so many different ways of making coins jump from one place to another, and the routine he's put together here is probably the best coins across that he's ever created, and that's saying something. Each phase is motivated, each phase is done in a different way, so it's not like it's the same move done 4 or 5 times that I've seen lots of times with coin magic. Each move is done a different way. And on the download, Michael explains multiple different versions of this. So he's got a version that uses the coins, he's got a version that uses the poker chips. I actually prefer the poker chips because they play bigger. Poker chips are bigger than coins, and these poker chips, they show up from a distance. Now I'm going to perform the routine in a minute, but the one thing that I will say, and you watched Michael perform this and you absolutely loved it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons he liked it so much is Ryalnd is a big fan of bad jokes. Like, he loves bad jokes. He will tell me bad jokes. Have you got a bad joke right now? You got a bad joke to tell everyone?
Not right now.
Not right now. But he's constantly working on, but you've got joke books and everything, and he loves bad jokes. And this routine has more bear puns in it than any other routine I've ever seen. Like, it's almost unbearable. You like what I did there? Almost unbearable. Now, there's going to be people that are going to be watching this, and they're going to think, well, that doesn't fit my performing style. And even though
I'll count the bear puns when you.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, we're going to perform it right now, but
and I'll count them.
I sat down with Ryan. I was like, this wouldn't fit my style, even though I'm a comedy performer, comedy magician. I do tell bad jokes. They're not as kind of machine gun style as this. Now, I know from speaking to Michael and reading his book. I mean, his book has got a chapter at the end full of bad jokes. And puns and stuff like that. I know he loves bad jokes, so I know that this fits his style. And I love his opening line where he says, I want to talk about something very important here. And everyone's thinking, what, is this COVID? Is this a bear migration? Like, he performs this so well and it fits his character. Doing all of those jokes wouldn't fit my character. Now, there's 2 things I want to say about that. Number 1, you don't have to do the bad jokes if you don't want to. You don't have to do the bear puns. You can actually have this play straight. I mean, you can still do the bear thing. You don't even have to use the purse if you don't want to. Just the moves in this routine will make your coins across a better coins across. But I've worked out a way of making this work for me, and I talked about this with you. I'm going to try and do this where I'm saying to the audience, I want to break a Guinness World Record, and I'm going to try and fit as many bad jokes, bad pear buns into a routine as I can, and I want you guys to help me count them off as I do them. And I'm going to get a big crowd around, and I'm going to try and deliver the script as best as I can, and I'm going to get people.
I think you should say count the bear puns as well.
Yeah. So every time I do a bear pun, they like, there, they count it.
Say it in the routine. We've talked about it now. I think you should say it in the routine as well.
I'm going to. I even like the idea of bringing a little bell out and giving the spectator a bell and getting someone to ring whenever they hear a bear pun. I think that would be hilarious. I think that would really work for me, and I think it might have that desired effect, which is, as I go through the routine, you know, it's going to get, every time they hear that bear pun and that bell rings, I think it's going to get more and more crazy. So I'm going to try and do that. This is my first performance of it. I'm going to perform it to Ryalnd and Sarah. I'm going to try and go down that route, and I think that will work. So let's do a performance of Migrate right now. Okay, Ryan, I need to speak to you about something really important now, something that is an issue that's affecting every single person on this planet. Do you know what that is?
COVID.
No, it's bear migration. You know bear migration. You know what bear migration is, don't you? Bears going from one place to another. A lot of people don't know about bear migration. It's terrible that you're 8 and in your school you have not yet learned about bear migration. So we are going to learn about bear migration. Okay? Now, the other thing is, I'm going to try something different here. You see, I was told by a very famous, successful magician that the only way to become a successful magician is to make sure that you have a Guinness World Record to your name.
And do you have one?
Well, no. And I was looking at Guinness World Records, and everything to do with magic is really hard. Like, I thought maybe I could do the longest magic show, but the longest magic show is for 75 hours.
That would be unbearable.
That would be unbearable. Hey, you're already getting ahead with this. 75 hours. Like, I couldn't do a magic show for 75 hours. So instead, I've come up with an idea. There is one thing that has not yet been done as a Guinness World Record, and I thought we could set that world record right here, right now, and that is the amount of bear puns in one magical performance. Yeah, well, that's one. You think we can do that?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and go for the world record, the most bear puns in one performance, okay?
I think that'd be a bit overbearing, really.
She's already helping me. She's already helping me. So here we go. This here is my little bear purse. His name is Teddy. Every time I get a bear pun, I want you to...
Teddy?
Yeah.
Teddy.
So every time I've got a bear pun, I want you to put your finger up. So here's my little bear purse. His name is Teddy. That's one. That's what. 3. Are you counting the 2 that... 1 minute. Okay. And would you like to see a trick?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Barely an inconvenience. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. There you go. Inside here, I have little bear poker chips. Now, each one of them has got a bear on it. This is bear number 1. I only had 3 poker chips when I started this, but then I added a 4th because I lost my Goldilocks. 3 bears with the Goldie. Count it. It counts.
5.
Thank you. But now I've got 4 bears. This is bear number 1. This is bear number 2. This is bear number 3. Who's that?
Goldilocks.
No. Bear number 1, bear number 2, bear number 3, and...
Bob.
No, this is actually Yogi Bear. He's smarter than the average bear.
6.
There you go, 6. Brilliant. So, here we go. 4, do you want to examine them, or are you okay?
Want to examine them.
You want to examine them. Examine them, check them out, make sure they're okay.
No flippers.
Make sure there's no flippers. Make sure everything's okay. Are we good?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no flippers.
These are highly collectible commemorative poker chips. I thought they'd be very difficult to buy, but they're not because they're barely sold. They're barely sold.
7.
Okay, so what's going to happen? We're going to make the bear poker chips jump from over to here to represent bear migration. From this cave to this cave, all he has to do is go from here, bear left,
8.
and land over here. The first one goes. That leaves us with 1, 2, 3 over here, and the first one is gone. I think that's absolutely incredible. Would you like to see it again? Yeah? The next one is going to go exactly the same way. Now notice my sleeves are rolled up. My arms are bare. How many is that?
9.
Thank you. Right, here we go. So from here to here we go. This is you'll barely see it go.
10.
Thank you. Here we go. That's the next one. That's number 2 gone across. Are you enjoying this?
Yeah.
2 over here, 2 over here. Let me do this again. Now this next one.
It's unbearable.
It's unbearable. There you go. How many was that one?
11.
11. This next one, it's going to go from over to here, right? It's going to go from over to here. Now, we've got a problem because bear number 3 didn't really want to leave his cave because he's got a lot of space right now. But he had no choice. You see, he literally jumped over there so fast, he must have caught an Uber. Uber.
In 12.
And you like that one, didn't you, Tom? That leaves us... Have you got any bear puns? You got the script over there, Sarah. I missed any. Let's try this one last time. Hold out your hand nice and flat for me there, Ryan. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4.
That's a cheetah bear.
Okay, actually, it's cheating. Put your hand on. I'll take that one out. Right, here we go. The last one. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's going to go from here over to here. You'll barely believe it.
13.
Thank you. Here we go. Watch the last one. You know what's going to happen from here to here. All I have to do is squeeze, and the final bear migrates. Open up your hand. Have a look. Could it be? That is 1, 2, 3, 4 bears, and officially, I am the Guinness World Record holder of the amount of bear puns in one magical performance.
14.
14 bear puns.
Very grisly.
Very good. 15.
15. That was hilarious, Dad.
It was funny, wasn't it? I love it. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say. The download is very, very clear. There's moves in there that I've never seen before. Michael explains them very clearly. He's got shots over the shoulder. He's also got a shot from the camera facing him. You know, this isn't going to fit every performer. I think a lot of people should buy this because the instructions on how to actually manipulate, how to do the routine, regardless of whether it uses bears or not, the teaching on this is absolutely phenomenal, and you can apply it to your own coin magic.
Couldn't you do this without, like, bears?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do the routine. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's
you
the
don't
point.
have to do any bear puns, no Guinness World Record. You could just do this without it. And it could be normal coins as well.
Yeah, and you don't need a table. This routine can be structured so there's no table. You're not lapping anything. There's no sleeves required. The coins are examinable beforehand, during, and after. And it's a very clean way of doing things. So you don't need the bear thing. This is going to fit a lot of people. I think this is great. I absolutely love it. I'm a big fan of Michael Rubinstein. Take that into consideration. But I think this is great. I'm going to start doing this. Whether it stays in my act or not, I'm not too sure. I think if the whole Guinness World Record thing works out, it's definitely staying in my act. And for kids performers and family performers at a restaurant, I think this would be amazing as well. Yeah, I'm going to give it 95%. What are you giving this?
I'm giving this 97.
97% from you, 95% from me. It's well worth buying. You can get it.
I just think you need a bit more bear puns in there.
A bit more bear puns. Okay, I'll try and think some more bear puns for the next performance. There you go.
If you do it again.
If I do it again, I'm definitely doing it. I'm going to try it out.
Yeah, if you do it again on like the.
I'll do it on a Magic Live. How's that sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's many
In
bear
fact,
puns
you know
as
what?
well.
I've got that wedding tomorrow that we're going to, haven't I? And I'm probably going to take this to the wedding. I think I'll let you know how it goes. But I think I'm going to take that.
Sunday you're away.
I'm working on Saturday and Sunday this week, aren't I?
Yeah.
3 gigs this weekend. Anyway, they don't need to know about this. Let's do this. 95% from me, 97% from him. Let's look at the next review.
This is Sweet Disposition by Luke Osey.
Absolutely. I interviewed Luke on Talk Magic a little while ago. He's a very clever guy, comes up with a lot of social media magic. And there's been a big buzz about this. He actually performed it to me over camera, over Zoom when I did the interview. And it fooled me. I'll be honest with you, it fooled me. The whole idea of this is you tip some sugar out, you pour it into your hand, and you just do that, and a little sugar cube appears. Which you then drop into a cup or anything. I mean, it looks so visual when that sugar cube appears. Completely fooled me. If you haven't seen a performance of it, Rye, you've been practicing this, so you're going to perform it, yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll get Rye to perform it, and then you and I can talk about what we think about it, because it's really good for the right time and the right place. Let's have a look at that performance right now.
Let's get into the review.
It is your mum's mug.
Yeah.
I love you more today than yesterday. Yesterday you really got on my nerves. That's mummy's thing about me all the time.
No,
I'll put it over there for you for a minute.
I've got some sugar, yeah? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, make sure the camera can see it.
There. Okay, so you can see the sugar. Yeah?
Yeah?
Right there. Look, I'm gonna try and do something magical. Watch.
No way! It's a sugar cube.
But yeah, there's an actual sugar cube right there. And look, you can actually suck on it.
What, you a horse?
I really like you could actually like just get like a random cup. So like if you like at a restaurant, you could get just like a plastic cup.
Mm-hmm.
You could and you could pour some sugar in, and then you could take the sugar cube out, and then so they don't look in the cup, you might as well just put it in the bin.
Absolutely. Here's the thing, Luke
And I
Osey.
really like it because it's like actual sugar, so you can actually show it. by sucking it.
By actually sucking the sugar cube, yeah.
And if you want to, you can actually bite it and then swallow it, and then they understand that it's real.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I want to point out. You know, Luke Osey's got this reputation of being a social media magician, and his stuff only really works on social media and doesn't really work in a real situation. This is a really practical
This will
trick.
work in a restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. And
Costa.
it'll work in Costa. In
Because
fact,
you get the sugar, you got a normal sugar cube. You can just take that fake sugar cube, and then you just
take the gimmick, yeah.
You get the cup, and then you're ready to
do it.
You're ready to do it.
Luke talks in the download about how for
You
him
can
this
do
is
this easily at Costa.
yeah, and Luke talks in the download about how this is very situational, and he performs this a lot when he's meeting up with friends in coffee shops, and he meets up with lots of people in coffee shops, and he'll perform this trick and blow people away. But and I think this is amazing. I do meet up with people quite a lot. I have a lot of business meetings, and I do like to perform to people in those sort of environments, and it's nice to perform a routine that's kind of organic to that environment, which is why a lot of Greg Wilson's coffee house conjuring routines are so good. But this works really well in that environment. It really does. But I think this could work in an actual gig as well. I think that if you're a restaurant performer, I've worked in restaurants before where they have these little sachets of sugar lying around all over the place. I think for a restaurant performer, going up and taking the sugar and say, hey, let me show you something, and making that sugar cube appear, and then you could maybe make the sugar cube disappear, or you could go into a chink-a-chink, split the sugar cube into two. I think you could routine this into a really nice restaurant act. I don't think it's good for mix and mingle. I don't think it's good for like corporates or big banquet tables. Although again, when you're doing corporate events and they're bringing the coffee out at the end, they've always got those little packets of sugar. You could very easily do that because there's people that don't have sugar in the coffee. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has got a lot of potential. It really has. Things that you need to be aware of when you make that sugar cube appear. It's not examinable at that point.
Yeah.
You have to
you have to put it in the cube and then. Because that's a gimmick.
Yeah, that's the gimmick.
That's
but then you could very easily.
You could just pour it into the cup, take it out, and then if you like it Costa with an empty cup, you could just put the cup in the bin.
What's nice about it in a situational point of view is you don't even have to have the sugar cube examined. You could literally just make that appear, apparently drop it into the cup, and then just put, which is where your coffee is, and just stir it and start drinking. And you just steal the gimmick out as you pour everything in. That'd be absolutely fine. There's no problem there. So in a situational point of view,
if you like sugar in your coffee,
if you like sugar,
I know you don't.
I don't. No, I don't drink sugar in my coffee. No. So that's something that you need to bear in mind. But if you're doing it in a gig, I think you would want to have it examined probably. So you'd have to switch it out. I did play around with having a real sugar cube palmed so that when you do that you can do a switch immediately. But I think one of the things that makes this so clean is the fact that your hands are empty. You just pour the sugar and then boom, a sugar cube appears. I think that palming a real sugar cube to do the switch, I think that takes away from the actual routine. So the way that you performed it, which is also the way that Luke explains it, I think that's absolutely the best way to do it. Look, it's great. You just saw Ryalnd do a performance of it.
I'm giving this 100%.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
You absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Well, you go to coffee shops with your mum a lot as well, don't you? And you'll meet up with like Becky and stuff. I think that I can imagine you going into a coffee shop and meeting Becky and saying, hey, let me show you something, Becky, and doing that and making a sugar cube appear. I think I can see you doing that, to be honest, right? So I can understand why you're giving it 100%. I'm going to give this 90%. I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to have it. Luke says that he keeps the gimmick in his wallet and he sometimes forgets it's there because it's there when he needs it, and when he doesn't need it, it's just tucked away. And I think I'll do the same thing. I do go to coffee shops. I do meet up with people. I love the idea of having the gimmick with me in my wallet so that if I'm in a coffee shop and I'm meeting up with somebody, I can just do this and blow somebody away. It's not going to be something that I'm going to gig every single time. It's going to be right time, right place. I think you could gig it every single time, but I'm going to keep it for that special occasion. 90% from me and 100% from him. Really good, yeah. Really good release. You can get it directly from Luke, or you can get it directly from most magic dealers. And if you do get it directly from Luke, while you're there, go check out OseyFans.com, because he's got a membership site and every week he creates something really super visual. So if you like this sort of thing, you might want to check out OseyFans.
And the next trick is Beyond Mercury Fold by Cretian.
He had it written down over there because you kept forgetting the name. Cretian, Beyond Mercury Fold, which is this. It's basically another way to make a folded up card appear in an impossible location. There's millions of them, isn't there? Like you can make, first of all, I think the first thing that we ever saw with this sort of thing was the mystery box by John Kennedy. There's been a million variations on the mystery box. I've talked on this channel about things like the Destination box by John Allen. You've obviously got the Lego mystery box by Prop Dog, which is another example of something that does the same thing. There's millions of them out there. There's also a million other places that you can make a Mercury folded card appear. Like there's tons of them. This is very much like a nest of wallets type routine in that you have this on the table from the very beginning. That's one of the nice advantages of this. You put this on the table from the very beginning, or you don't need a table. You can just give this to somebody and have them hold it in their hand. You then have the card picked and signed, and what will happen eventually is you'll open up a wallet, and inside the wallet is a wallet, and inside there is a folded up card, and it turns out that it's their folded up card.
Yeah, should we do a performance of it?
I was about to say.
I want you to do it.
Yeah, well, I've been practicing this, haven't I? So I'm going to do a performance of this. You can see exactly what it looks like. And then after the performance, I'll talk to you about what I think. Right. I'm going to show you something with a deck of cards. And this, what I have inside here, is a prediction.
What sort of prediction?
It's a playing card.
Playing card.
From a different coloured deck. And it's going to represent the unknown future. Because the future is unknown.
We could all be robots.
We could, and one day when you're old enough, I will let you see Terminator, which is all about robots taking over the Earth, and Matrix. Matrix is another one that you'd like as well, but you're too young right now. However, I digress. We're going to do a trick with a pack of playing cards, 52 cards, yeah?
Yeah.
And I have a little Sharpie, and you're going to pick a card. So as I go through the deck, just say stop.
Stop.
Cool. Right there. Are you happy to stop there?
Yeah.
These cards are going to spread out on the table, okay? You'll see why in a minute, but these cards are going to spread out on the table. I'm going to look at the card you stopped at, the Joker. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Great. Take the pen. Be careful. It's a little Sharpie. It's a little sharp. That's a joke. It's a bad one. Forget it.
Yeah. Sharpie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pun.
Okay.
Take the lid off.
It's not a pun, it's a pen.
Oh, I like what you did there. And unfortunately, Ryalnd can't even take the lid off. There you go, buddy. So can you write your name right there on the card for me? Nice big letters. Oh my good grief, that is the worst pen in the world. You had to find a pen that didn't work very well. Write something else down there so people can see. They're going to think that this isn't really a signed card. Told you not to get the red pen. Does that show up, sir?
Yeah.
Just about, maybe.
Okay.
Just about. Okay, we'll put the pen away. And your card, we're going to pop it back into the pack. Now, you get to decide where. So I'm going to go through. Just say stop.
Stop.
There. Now, this is all about you. I mean, obviously, you could have stopped on any card you wanted to. You stopped on that one right there. I'm going to give you another choice right now. Do you want to put it somewhere else, or are you happy with putting it right there?
I want to put it there.
Right there?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Square up the cards. And give them one quick shuffle for me, if you could, please. That would be amazing.
I haven't got much.
Oh, you can have the rest of the pack. Sorry. It's okay. I don't want you to say that I didn't give you the full deck. Is that fair? Oh, one more. Oh, a Hindu shuffle as well. And an overhand shuffle. Are we just doing a shuffling exercise here? We're learning about every single shuffle that you know?
No, I know more.
I know you do, right. Are you happy with that, yeah? Now, do you remember that before we did anything, I put a little envelope down there? It's been there for the whole time, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's been there before you even picked a card, which you shuffled into the pack, right? Now, here's the thing. Inside here, do you remember what I said there was?
Prediction.
A prediction.
On a playing card about
Well,
the future.
yeah, but there's actually another there's another little wallet in there. There's a wallet inside a wallet, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But inside...
Is there a wallet inside the wallet inside the wallet?
No. This isn't nested wallets. Inside here, there is... remember I said it was going to be a blue playing card, yeah? Do you remember that? Yeah. And this blue playing card has been inside this wallet from the very, very beginning. If I told you this predicted exactly which card that you would pick from this deck, would that be good?
Yes.
Well, in all honesty, I went one step further. Because this doesn't just predict the card that you picked. It also predicted exactly how you would sign your name.
Wait, so it thought about the future like a minute later?
Yeah, you're thinking about this too much. It's just a card trick. Okay, so that is a performance of Beyond Mercury Fold.
Oi, boo!
You know what? You're being a little harsh. I don't like this either. I totally agree with you.
I just like the
I don't think it's worth a
all
boo.
I just don't like why can't it just be like one envelope?
Well,
Why does it have to be two? Why can't it be one?
here's the thing. If you're going to bring out a way of making a Mercury folded card appear, I think it needs to really take things to an entirely new level. And I don't think this does take things to an entirely new level, to be honest. I mean, there's advantages. Like I say, you can give this to the spectators beforehand. You don't need the table. There's a few different advantages. But the bottom line is, I've got two issues with this. Number one, there's ways of doing this that I think are better. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But also, my main problem with this is I think that the switch takes place at exactly the wrong time. And what I mean by that is, the first part's fine. You show this on both, you show this, you then take this and you put this away and you show this. But then you take the card out and you put it here. And when you do, I think that switch just... I just think the switch happens at exactly the wrong time. Anybody that's watching this, there's a switch. You know that this folded up card in here is going to get switched for their Mercury folded card. You know that. And I think that switch takes place at exactly the wrong time. And without stealing the gimmick away, this is not examinable. Now, you could make it examinable by switching the gimmick away. But, if I was going to do this, you asked me a question earlier on. You said, if you don't like it, what would you do instead? I would do Paperclipped by Jay Sankey. For me, Paperclipped is a much better version of this, because with Paperclipped, you put the card down with the paperclip around it. It's there from the very beginning. You give it to the spectator or whatever, and then you have the card picked. You have it lost into the deck. And you take the paperclip off. You've got a reason for just putting that paperclip away.
Questions?
Okay, just let me finish this very quickly. You've got a reason for putting the paperclip away, and then when you unfold it, it's their card. I mean, for me, that is so clean. And I know that there's people going to be watching this that are going to say, yes, but, they know it's a folded up card. Well, yeah, but what you can do is you can put Jay Sankey's paperclipped, so the folded card in the paperclip, you can put that in a pay envelope, for example. So you could give them a pay envelope, say there's something in there. You could then do the whole routine, get them to open up the paperclip, get them to open up the pay envelope, reach in, they take out the paperclip, and you say, look, there's a paperclip here. Let me take the paperclip, let me take the envelope, put it away. It's your signed card. So for me, this doesn't add anything. It's like they've bought it out, but there's already a million ways of doing this that's as good. And in my opinion, with Paperclipped, there's a way of doing this that's better. This doesn't add anything. What were your questions?
What's the angles like?
I mean, the angles are pretty good. I mean, when you're doing the when you're putting the deck down over here, you need to be careful. You can't have anybody looking from underneath. That's something you need to consider. And also, if people are looking from the front, you're going to need to angle it down. But I mean, the angles are pretty good, to be honest, when you take this out. Yeah, I can't really diss the angles too much. The angles are pretty good. You just need to be careful if people are looking from the front. You angle it down, and you can't do it with people lying on the floor looking up. I don't think that's going to happen anyway. So yeah, that's the angles. Did you have another question? I mean,
is it easy?
It's not that difficult. It's harder than Paperclipped because you're having to manipulate. What are you doing with your hands? Come on, don't do that. It's harder than Paperclip because you're having to manipulate the folded card underneath here, and then you're having to steal it from underneath there, underneath here. Whilst with Paperclipped, it's literally just boom, job done. So it's a little bit harder than Paperclipped, but it's not ridiculously difficult. It's not that hard. I did change it around a bit. I used a stranger card. They don't do that in the download. The download's very good. Please stop doing that with your hands. Seriously, please stop it.
Okay.
The download's very good. I can't diss the download at all. It goes through everything that you need to know. But I changed it around a bit. I added a stranger card, so I added a different coloured card into the deck, which I think made it look a little bit more deceptive, because then you've got this blue card in here, and they picked a red card, and yet the blue card ends up being their signed card. But you can do that with Paperclip. That's not like a new thing to me. That's just how I chose to present this routine. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's very underwhelming. I think that if you bought this and you open it up and you watch the download, you're going to go, yeah. And if you don't have a way of, kind of revealing a folded up card, then there's nothing wrong with this. but I'm sure that most people have got a way of revealing a folded up card, and pretty much everything out there is as good as this. This does not further this particular plot. If anything, this is a bit more bulky than a paperclip. Yeah, it's less bulky than a mystery box or something like that, but you know, I think that the box is better, personally. I think that because once you've tipped that card out the box looks empty, and it kind of does stand up for examination. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very underwhelmed by this, and you were as well, weren't you? I'm going to give this 60%. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think there's better ways of achieving this. What would you give it?
I'm going to give it 79. No, 50.
How did you get from 79% to 50%? Where did that come from? I mean, your marking system is just completely out to lunch sometimes. So you're going to go, which one is it, 79 or 50?
50.
Okay, he's giving it 50%. I'm giving it slightly more. It's 60%. It is what it is. It's okay. I just wouldn't recommend it. There's way better ways of doing this. Go check out sankymagic.com. Look at paperclips. You'll thank me later.
Unless you've seen it.
Yeah, unless you've seen it. In which case, go buy it. The final review today, we're going to be looking at Catch by Vanishing Ink, and there's a reason why we're not going to be performing this, and it's a bit of a shame, to be honest, but the reason is...
But we do like it.
We do like it, it's okay, but the reason we're not going to be performing this is because you have to wear a watch. Or some sort of watch type thing on your wrist. And not only do you have to wear a watch, but you have to wear a watch that's got quite a loose strap. In order to kind of basically put the gimmick in place where it needs to be. Now, I do have a watch. I wear a couple of different watches when I'm out gigging, but there wouldn't be enough room in order to put this gimmick unless I change the watch strap, and I'm not planning on changing the watch strap just to perform this routine. And you don't wear watches at all, do you? No. And that's something you need to be aware of. You do need to, I mean, you don't need sleeves or anything like that, but you do need to be aware that you need to be wearing a watch in order to perform this routine. So that's the first negative, and that's the reason why I'm not performing it. What the routine is, basically, it's called Catch because you can show your hand empty, and you can do that, and you can make a coin appear. You can also make a coin disappear. And then there's a few different handlings on the project. It's like a 45-minute download. It's very well put together, as you would expect from Vanishing Ink. And they've got this really nice sort of penetration through a glass and that sort of thing. But what you're really paying your money for here is the ability to show your hand empty, make a coin appear, and make a coin disappear. And they've got this really nice snap vanish where you do the snap, and as you do the snap, the coin vanishes, and the snap covers any sound issues that there might be in making this happen. Now, 3 things that you need to be aware of. I know you've got some questions. 3 things you need to be aware of before Ryalnd asks me some questions about this.
Don't talk about the angles.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that you need to be aware of, right, is you can't use half dollars or dollars with this. You have to use like a quarter or a 10p style coin. In order for it to fit in the gimmick, it has to be a smaller coin, which for me is an issue. I've got big hands. I am a coin guy, so I do a lot of coin magic. And it's always...
But not as much as Dr. Michael Rubinstein.
Not as much as Dr. Michael Rubinstein, but I only ever use half dollars and dollars. Having, to be honest, I might have actually gone to the trouble of getting a watch strap sorted, but for me, knowing that I can only use a 10p for this, it's a deal breaker. I'm not gonna go down that route at all. So you have to be aware of the type of coins that you do with this. Now, the other thing is they have this kind of bonus thing on the trailer. They've got this vanish where you just literally do this. I think it's called the flick vanish or the flicker vanish or something like that. The setup for that is just completely ridiculous. It feels, now I don't know if that's the case, and I know Vanishing Ink are very ethical, but it feels like that was just kind of thrown on at the end in order to give the trailer a really nice moment. Because he actually says, the guy that explains this, he actually says, you know, this is, there's more of a labour-intensive setup to this. You need to be aware of this. And also it's going to take a lot of practice to do it in the real world and make it look like it does on the trailer. You know, this is best for social media where you can do multiple takes. Well, I don't want something like that. You know, I don't want so. I want something that's going to work every single time, 100% of the time. I don't want to be taking 50 shots in order to get just the right angle on a vanish. So that bonus thing, the setup for that is ridiculous, and I can't imagine anyone doing it. That's something you need to be aware of as well. But the actual routines that are included in there, and the actual handling of the thing, it looks really good. You don't need much skill to do it. Actually, what questions did you have for me?
Angles.
Again, the angles are pretty good. The angles are pretty good. He goes through a couple of different options. It's more of a sound issue that you need to be concerned with, which is why you've got the snap. He's got other handlings where you've got where you put it in heel grip to kind of discourage that as well. But the angles are pretty good. The angles are pretty good. It's also not that very difficult to do. It's fairly easy. As far as I can see. To be honest, I haven't played around with it that much, but from watching the download and the brief time that I did play with it, it seems fairly easy. It is a knacky thing. I can see some people having a bit of an issue with it initially because the vanish, you have to, it's very easy to miss. I don't want to give too much away, but it's very easy to miss. But it's very clever because once you're in this situation and your hands are empty, you can drop your hands to your side, and your sleeves can be rolled up, and the coin will stay hidden. And when you need it, you can catch and grab it.
So it's like a bit harder and a bit easy.
Yeah. My issue with it is, I said I had 3 issues at the beginning, and one was the coin size, one was the watch. The other thing is, I don't think there's anything happening here that you can't do with regular sleight of hand. You know, the catch thing, and the reason it's called catch is because you can show your hand empty and catch the coin, which is true. You can do that with sleeving.
So it doesn't need to be used on the table.
Oh no, you don't need a table at all. No, there's no table required on this.
That's why the
mix and mingle. Yeah, mix and mingle. Totally mix and mingle. You can do this, which is another advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, you could do this with sleeving, but if you don't want to use your sleeves, you could do this with clever use of the nowhere palm, or you know, I just, you know, doing something like the Hom Mask, or doing something like a Vernon appearance type thing, or whatever that's called, where you're throwing it in from the thumb palm, or some of the Sankey stuff of revolutionary coin magic, or other things. To be honest, you can make the same effects are possible using sleight of hand than using the gimmick. Now, is it harder using sleight of hand? Yes. Does the gimmick allow you to achieve similar results but in an easier way? Absolutely. But then you've got the fact that you can only use small coins, and you have to wear a watch. I know you do. I know you really like it. You actually said that you were considering getting a watch and wearing a watch so you could do this routine, didn't you?
But then, no. I don't like wearing watches.
I know. Me neither. So what you got? What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it 97. No, not 97. 79. The other way around. If I did like wearing watches, I would have gave it 100.
Okay. So you're saying that if
But I just won't perform it, that's why.
If people, you're not going to perform it because you hate wearing watches and you have to wear a watch. So you're not going to perform it. So you're giving it the highest mark you can possibly give it without actually performing it, which is 79%.
So, for the people who like wearing watches,
Which is most people.
I would say it's 100% for them.
Okay, it's 100% for them.
For the
But
people
bear in
who
mind,
don't like wearing watches, 79.
Bear
Because
in-
then you won't have to do it.
bear in mind the size of the coins, though. Bear that in mind. And if you're really good at sleight of hand with
Absolutely,
coins,
yeah,
then that might be
That
something you
will
would
go
consider.
down.
Well, no, it's just something that people need to be aware of. I mean, I agree. I think it's a very clever gimmick. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give it 79% like you.
Does it involve a gimmick?
Yeah, what do you mean to involve a gimmick? Of course it involves it. We've just spent the last 10 minutes talking about the gimmick, and we can't wear the gimmick because we don't wear watches.
Oh, that's the gimmick.
Silly. He's had a long day. He's just come back from school, haven't you? Yeah. Right, he's had a long day. And he's been practicing for sports day, apparently. So there you go. I'm going to give it 79%. I'm not going to do it. But there's people out there. I think if you get this and you practice it, and it is going to be a bit knacky, if you get it down, I think you're going to love this. There's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't suit me. 79% from me, 79% from him. It's recommended as long as you're aware of the limitations.
And that's another review show in the back day. And that's another review show in the back day.
It gets louder and it gets higher. At one point.
And that's another review show in the back.
All right, can we stop now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, that is another review show in the bag. He is right. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. There's some great products this week. There's some very interesting stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let him know what you think in the comments down below. And once again, thanks for supporting the channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It makes our day when we see a new subscriber. And also, if you want to follow Ryalnd, please do so. He is on YouTube as Ryalnd the Kid Magician. There's a link right there, so you can go check that link out. And we're going to be back again tomorrow. I'm going to be back again tomorrow on Thursday with the magic stuff. And at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, we are going to have a Magic Live. And at 2 o'clock, there's going to be a short. So I'm going to be back again tomorrow. And then next week, Ryland's going to be back with me doing another review show. Isn't that right, mate?
Yeah.
But thanks very much for watching. We'll be back again next week. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
See you again. Take care. Bye, everyone.